Thursday, July 30th, you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards. We got a great show for you today. Welcome into the chat, all the chatters out there, TQ. Big Thursday afternoon baseball market. Market sleepy. He said, let's have a day for sure. We'll definitely be asking Mr. Horst about that one. And speaking of Mr. Horst, let's talk about what's happening today on the show. Got Barry Horst coming on. We're going to talk some MLB Trade Deadline, plus a little bit of a preview for college football. Like I said, we're a couple weeks away from college football. Every week for the next couple weeks, we're going to just be dropping some college football nuggets here and there. So you're going to want to be tuning in, and you're going to want to be taking notes. Class is now in session for the college football season. After that, we got So Money coming on to talk some CFL bets. Plus, no odds yet available for the National Bank Open for women's tennis, because we know So Money only likes his women's tennis and only models women's tennis, but no odds. We'll have him on. Talk a little bit about who he likes, who's trending up, who's a player, a name that we should keep an eye on for the National Bank Open. That's happening right in our backyard of Toronto. Shout out to So Money as well. Last week, putting up a 4-0 record in the CFL. This guy crushes. This guy absolutely crushes. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Do us a favor before we start. Press the like button. Goes a long way. The numbers tell me if I don't ask you, it doesn't happen. So I'm sorry that I have to ask you every single time, but smash the like button, because every time I ask, it increases the actual amount of likes that we get. I know it's a little bit annoying, but I just have to do it. I have to do it. So appreciate you guys. And also, if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button. And welcome. Welcome to the Hammer Army, the Nails. Haven't pulled that one out in a while. And let's get into today's show. Batting leadoff, I want to talk about some Baker Mayfield stuff, because a lot of interesting stuff happening in the NFC South. The Buccaneers are the favorites to win their division here, but they seem so vulnerable. We talked about it 2 days ago when we had Ian, preface this, Ian is a fan of the Falcons, but he's a little bit of a pessimistic fan. Ian, fan of the Falcons, thinks the Buccaneers are kind of vulnerable. Equal in the chat as well. Bucks are vulnerable. We like the Falcons, and we've been attacking them multiple different ways here to win the NFC South. Bucks right now 2-1. Their number just keeps going up and up and up. And the problems arise right now with Baker Mayfield saying he sort of expected a contract extension this year. He's in his last year of his deal. Going to be a free agent next year. Says he felt disrespected and undervalued by the contract offers he received, which were $50 million by 3 years. So $150 million total over 3 years. We don't know if that's APY, cap hit. We don't know the exact number, but in terms of quarterback numbers, that feels a little bit too high for Baker Mayfield. Now, the big problem arises. I think Baker Mayfield's pretty good. Is he worth the money? I don't really think so. But last year, he played through a ton of injury. If Baker Mayfield gets hurt again, and he's pretty injury prone, will he continue to play through an injury? And if so, how much does that hurt the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? This is something we're going to be watching throughout the entire offseason. Because Baker Mayfield, obviously, team player, but still feels a little bit disrespected. And going into a year where he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, is he really going to put his body on the line like he did the last 2 years for this Bucs team if it means sacrificing dollar values in the future? And I don't think any smart man would be willing to do that. So this is something we're going to be watching, and I think I'm going to be fading the Bucs quite a bit in these future markets. Disrespect to our Panthers, plus 330. Maybe that's what we're looking at. Anyways, appreciate you guys tuning into the show. Before we bring on our good friend Barry Horst here, just want to quickly tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. Looking to get more out of today's MLB action? Guess what? FanDuel has you covered. Right now, you can head over to FanDuel and claim a profit boost to use on any bet type for today's game. That's right, any bet type. Money lines, totals, home runs, player props, however you like to play. It's simple. Just tap claim now, grab your token, and apply it to your bet before you place it. Maybe you're backing your team to win. Maybe you like the over. Maybe you're calling your shot and picking someone to go yard. Whatever you're feeling, use your boost to get more out of your bet. Head over to FanDuel.com/4progress to get started right now. FanDuel, your home for home runs. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. TQ, I saw that yesterday. TQ in the chat saying, I'm posting notes on the Discord on college football. Let me know if it's useful, helpful, or stupid. I disagree. I think that's useful. Why not? It's always good to have a resource to refer back to, especially this deep into the offseason and this far out from the start of the season. Because week one, we're gonna forget about this stuff if it's not written down somewhere, right? And so it's good to have something to refer back to. And our opinions can change from now to then, but having something to refer back to is key. I appreciate that, TQ. And I think a lot of people in the chat appreciate that as well. All right, let's get into today's show. Let's bring him on first. He is a Bitcoin maxi, was a lover of our Toronto Blue Jays. Going to see how he feels about them now. Barry Horse _29 on Twitter. Barry Horse, welcome to the show. How's it going? So happy to have you on here. Let's get into things.
My audio good?
No, you're. We can work it a little bit here. I think you're on the wrong microphone, but we'll get that fixed in just a second. Before we get into things, okay. I want to lead with the Blue Jays, and we'll get that fixed in the background. Alejandro Kirk is back. Does that really change anything for you? This hole that the Blue Jays have dug is too deep. When you came on last time, we talked about the struggles of Vladdy and how bad this team has been, I guess, for lack of a better term. Vladdy's been playing losing baseball for a long time now. 5.5 games back. You said the loss of Kirk really hurt things. Kirk is back. Is there any fixing this? What's going on with our Blue Jays?
Yeah, is my audio better now?
No, it's still okay. Let's try and fix this in the background here. We can get this worked out.
Okay.
We'll give us a second here. We'll get this worked out. What was that?
I can log off and log back on.
Let's try that. We'll get Barry Horse out of here and back in just a second. We're going to talk about the Blue Jays. We're going to talk about the Mariners. We're going to talk about the Marlins. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. If you have any MLB questions for today, do us a favor. Drop it in the chat below. And while we wait, let's see what we got. We got some day ball today. Some stuff happening in a couple hours here. Literally right after we go live. Let's see if there's anything good that we can bet on FanDuel. I'm looking. Let's go. Okay, this isn't earlier in the day, but this is still pretty decent. Let's go with if you don't know what to use your Derek saying tell Jason the Blue Jays suck and move on. Okay, well we'll just hold off for a second. We'll get to that. If you are looking for someone to use your profit boost token on, head over to the San Fran and San Diego Padres game. And you're going to take the Nerfy in that game, minus 104 on FanDuel, which is one of the better prices in market. Some of the sharper books out there have minus 109 towards the no, and you can get it at minus 104 at FanDuel. If you're looking to use your profit boost on something that's don't know what to use on, you can use it on that. A couple other things you can get as well. Xander Bogaerts, hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 plus 105. Also very good on FanDuel. We will, B. Clark in the chat, welcome. We will talk about the NL MVP because Ohtani with like the grabbing of the back and him not pitching, it's a little interesting. Okay, we got him. We're going to talk about the NL MVP. Saw the Ohtani stuff. No pitching. We'll get into that in just a second. Quick reminder, San Diego, San Fran, Nerfy. If you guys need something to bet on. All right, let's bring him on up, Barry Horse. Barry Horse, Mr. Horse. How's it going?
Yo, can you hear me better?
Yep, that works. Okay, let's dive into things. Blue Jays, keep it short. Or I'll keep it short. Just talk to me about them.
I mean, they suck. There's not a lot to say. There's Dylan Cease start days, and then there's like a borderline 400 team on the other days.
All right.
I mean, every single player on the team looks bad. I guess Springer's look better for like 2 or 3 weeks. Varsho looks completely useless. I guess Okamoto is exciting when he's raking, but he's streaky. Obviously, that's going to be the nature of his game forever, probably. I don't know. I mean, they have good players on the roster, but they're not playing good.
Yeah, can't piece it together. So is this like sort of a stripped down scenario? We'll talk a little bit about the deadline as well. Is this like sort of a stripped down scenario for them, or do you just sort of?
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be pretty shocked if Gosman didn't get traded. I don't know about the rest. I don't know what the rest of the league would want, but I think he's pretty clearly been tipping pitches in like 4 of his starts, 2 of them against Tampa. If you take out like what I perceive to be the obvious pitch tipping games from him, and even if you do include them, he's still run bad and been unlucky. So I think he's like a super usable MLB starter that teams would want, but we'll see.
All right. Just a quick question on the trade deadline. Then, when you mentioned that, is there any players that you're keeping an eye on that are like legit needle movers for you? Where if they get dealt, like this is someone where you might be clicking to win the World Series or to win. Like I think of Tariq Skubal, obviously, like game to game in a 162 regular game season doesn't add that much. But when we strip things down and head into a playoffs, like that value is there for pitchers. Is there a player that you're looking at, like even Mason Miller, someone like that? Does that ever happen where they like slightly move a couple cents? The futures.
Yeah, I mean, Skubal. My understanding is
he's staying.
If it were the Dodgers,
yeah,
their assumption is Ohtani will pitch again, but probably be like 3 and 4 inning stints that they'll piggyback with Glasnow. So if that is like what Ohtani's going to be, then that make their playoff rotation without Skubal, Yamamoto, Snell, that piggyback game, and then some Sheehan Robleski mix, something like that. Replacing that Sheehan Sasaki Robleski mix with Skubal would be like in the game. Like with Skubal, I would probably be pricing the Dodgers if they played a million average teams as winning like 69, 70%. Mm. And with the Robleski Sasaki mix, Sheehan all kind of the same of like 61%. Like it's like an 8% jump in those games that you're probably getting 2 of those per series in the NLCS and World Series. So it's like a 6 to 8% increase in 2 games in the 2 most important series. Like it would mean a lot. Should you go bet Dodgers futures? I don't really think so. I think you're better off just betting the games when we get there and the series prices. But like, to answer your question, like clearly he would be a needle mover. Yeah. I think it changed a lot.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's a needle mover for like Detroit if he ends up staying. Like, is that something that you've like thought about where like maybe some of the market is pricing that he might like a coin flip on if he might get traded, where if he stays in Detroit that might actually boost them a bit?
I mean, they're not winning anything even with him. Like, I mean, they're like a pretty joke team. Yeah, I mean, they could make the playoffs, but they wouldn't do anything. I don't know. I mean, I saw Passan reported pretty defiantly that he is getting traded. So I don't know how much to treat that as gospel, but that was like, maybe you missed it. That was like a couple hours ago.
Okay. Yeah.
I right now I'd be working under the assumption that there's like 80+% chance he gets traded. But,
okay. Wow. That's huge. All right. Good to know. Is there, okay. Like, I guess we'll hold off on the trade deadline stuff in just a bit. Cause like, depends where he's going to go. Now, right now, it's all just pretty much speculation on if he's where he's going to end up here. Last time you were on the show, it was almost like a month and a half ago. You talked about how you were sort of like higher on the Marlins in their division here. What are your opinion on the Marlins here? Are they going to be buyers at the trade deadline? Like the Rangers are still ahead of them. Like Seattle's not very good. Cal Raleighy's not very good for Seattle, but they're still ahead of them. Any opinion here on the Marlins? If you still like them, if you still like futures?
Talking about Marlins or Mariners?
Sorry, Mariners.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I remain pretty confident their players are better than by far the rest of the teams in that division. They're not same thing. They're not really playing like it. So. I don't know. Julio Rodriguez has done this like his whole career. I don't really know how to explain it. Raleigh's not easy to price right now either. Like I don't really know what to do. Like history and math would say players with this track record of both of these guys should play to a certain level. So I don't know. And I'd say I'm fairly confident. Wu has had like the nut low run out and people are freaking out about the home road splits. There is like a very undeniable like physical thing specific to him and I guess Bryce Miller too in home. I don't want to say too much more publicly about what that is, but like it's obvious. There's the no shit like obvious like it's a pitcher's park. They're going to be better there, but with those two specifically for their 4-seam shape, there's a thing that matters extra for them. But that said, I think he's just run horrendous on the road. Like I don't really think that's going to continue, at least not to this big of a separation. And then, I'm pretty confident Cade Anderson. I think he pitches tomorrow for Double-A, but I'm pretty confident Hancock's getting traded and he'll be up like next week. He literally might be their best pitcher. I don't like it's great. Like he's definitely the best pitching prospect since Skeens, and if Skeens didn't exist since I don't even know who. So he's a little tricky. Like he's a little bit more pitchery than throwery, which makes me slightly nervous. Those are like a little harder to predict, but if if I was positive on how it was going to look, like I do actually compare the market, prefer those pitchery types. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, numbers wise, yes, I love Seattle, but at a point they need to start winning.
Plus
Playing well.
plus 175 right now to win the AL West here. Maybe we'll take a look at something towards the playoffs where maybe they win the AL. Win the AL. Trying to find prices on that. Maybe Mike can pull that up behind the scenes in a bit, and we'll talk about that later. I believe they were 10-1 last time you were on the show. Sticking with the AL here, sort of like a tie into this question with the Mariners. It seems like we're still down to fade the New York Yankees. Judge still isn't back. We're still having like the question marks surrounding his injury, what's happening. But as we get closer to the playoffs and as there is a lack of Judge, are we still sort of like fading the Yankees, who are essentially like the favorites to come out of the AL because people think that Judge will come back?
I mean, there's a price for everything. So no information. I'm not like well informed with what's happening there. I would guess I would make it a big favorite he plays again this year still, and definitely in the playoffs. It might be in September. I don't know. But I would also make it a big favorite that he's not necessarily Aaron Judge, because he had a very similar rib thing the COVID year. And if COVID started, I think the season didn't start until June or July that year. But if it had started on time, he would have been out like the first 2.5 months. And then even in that COVID year, I think was his worst hitting year since he's been up full time. And I don't think that was random. I could be wrong. So yeah, like there's guessing around that. Same thing with Bellinger. Like, it's not just coming back. It's like 6 weeks of losing your rhythm and timing and everything too. It's like a lot to hope for. Plus just a little bit of skepticism already. But I'm sure they'll buy and their team's going to look a lot different in 5 days. But there's still a limit to what they can really add. I don't know how much there is to do. So yeah, like your question is, am I fading them? It depends on the price, but based on what things were a month ago, and I have to look at what it is right now. But yeah, I've barely ever been on the Yankees this year.
I can't find right now the AL and NL prices for like AL and NL winners, but right now to win the World Series 5-1, the Yankees are. What are they to win the AL? You have that?
Plus 650.
No, the Yankees to win the AL.
Plus 210.
Plus 210 to win the AL feels like
that feels horrendous. I mean, even if it's not horrendous, it feels idiotic to bet. No,
yes.
I'm sure FanDuel wants the money, but like you can probably recreate that price betting the games in the series when we get there.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, not something to maybe not at that price. Are you fading them? Still looking at the Mariners. Any other things that you're sticking out to you ahead of this trade deadline here? Any teams that you're circling? How do you sort of like approach the trade deadline, or is it just sort of, I'm not going to try and make an educated guess on where these players are going. I'm going to step back, let things happen, and then work from there?
Well, I don't really bet futures. Like if I can make a number for them, I can tell you how good I think the teams are and guess what the future should be based on that. And people on these shows want to hear about them, so I'm happy to talk about them with you. But like, I bet the games, so I don't have to guess. Like, I know what the lineups are when I bet them.
Yeah.
The one thing with that would be like, kind of like, is there like vibes based handicapping where you need to like be worried that a team's like, is Toronto feel like they're playing for the season this week? Does that make them play better or worse? Like, I kind of just ignore all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd be vaguely aware of teams getting rid of players that matter, or like pitchers skipping starts, or like it hasn't been super uncommon for, like, it kind of happened last night. It didn't really influence a bet for me, but Dustin May for St. Louis came out probably 20 pitches earlier than he normally would have and started hugging people in the dugout. Like, there's probably some workload stuff. If you bet props, I'm sure, like, I think Gosman starts Saturday. Wouldn't stun me if there was like 75 pitches instead of 95. That's more for props though, but it could matter a little for the game too.
No, that's a good little nugget to have and pay attention to as we move forward. Excuse me, in the season. Sorry. Any other thoughts? Anything you have for us today in terms of bets or futures?
No, I really don't focus on a lot of this stuff. I mean, you can pull up if you want to pull up odds. I can eyeball stuff, but
yeah, we can pull up odds on screen. Something and it's on screen here in a second. Is there a team that you've just been like consistently, like it, without even looking? Is there a team that you'd think you'd probably be higher on than the World Series odds, for example?
For futures,
Yes.
let me look at this. I mean, I just this basically never happens until 2 or 3 years ago with the Dodgers. Like they're usually always favored, but they're like 5-1, and now like they're rightfully so here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, especially with Scooble, it's not that easy to price how, and it completely changes everything. Like if you don't nail the Dodgers price, you're probably going to show like a 1 or 2% edge on literally every team besides the top 2 here. So it kind of all comes down to that, and it's such a like fragile thing to base your futures around. So like, not really. And like me personally, I just don't really want to be in front of that. Like I would never take 170 here, but like I could easily stretch the numbers to make it not be ridiculous that the Dodgers are slight value at this price. And I wouldn't even be doing that by betting them. I'd probably be betting the games when we get there.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, they just lay over everybody else by far.
All right. Sounds like what we're going to do. It's going to be easy for me to click the Dodgers when they're in the playoffs, and the Jays are not. So we're just going to keep hammering the Dodgers, it sounds like, when we hit the playoffs. Chad is clamoring. We'll give it to them. NL MVP stuff I want to focus on here. Some more awards-related stuff. The big one, like I said, NL MVP, Pete Crow Armstrong versus Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, like, weird thing. I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, like, went for a swing, like, touched his back a bit. Not sure if he's actually hurt. He's not pitching now, so there's obviously something going on there. Right now, Ohtani minus 145, Pete Crow Armstrong plus 100. Any opinion on this market here?
Yeah, I mean, I can only go off what's public. So
Yes.
Friedman, the Dodgers GM, was talking, I think it was yesterday, it might have been the day before, about so there's two. The new thing I think you're talking about isn't a back. I think it's bicep.
Okay,
so
sorry.
there's the knee. The knee is the reason he hasn't pitched since before the break. And there was this new bicep thing like 5 days ago, and Friedman made it sound like the bicep's just completely nothing. If the knee was healthy, he would be pitching. So it's all about the knee as the limiting factor. And I guess didn't feel amazing. I mean, I have very little doubt that if the playoffs were this week, he would still be pitching. Like it's the way they've managed all of these as they've built this position to win the division by 30 games every year. Is like they can just rest Snell for 2 months, and Glasnow, they literally said, I don't think he's going on the IL. He might skip one start back in May. And now he's like throwing bullpens, and it's August in 2 days. Like they can just take 4 months off and be chill. So I think that's what's happening. Unlike every other pitcher in MLB history, he's the only one that can't just go to Oklahoma City to rehab. So like I would think they would want him to throw in MLB games before the playoff starts. So I don't think he's done accumulating pitching WAR. I could be wrong, but I'd be pretty shocked if he doesn't throw any MLB games. Like I kind of think he's a tiny favorite to still throw in an MLB game this month, and definitely in September. So does he accumulate one more pitching WAR this year? Maybe that's a little high, but like I think it'd be more than half. And then honestly, I'm answering your question, but like there's, as humbly as possible, I think I'm pretty good at pricing the games.
Yeah.
Like there's probably 10,000 people more qualified to talk about MVP than me, just because I've spent really no hours of my life trying to reverse engineer how they vote. Is it truly a proxy for WAR? Is there such a thing as voter fatigue? Is there a bias because like maybe he's the most likable, and maybe there's the opposite of voter fatigue where he could be within half a WAR of PCA and still get them? Like I just don't know. And there's so much guessing, and that's really what you're betting on. It's like, I don't even know. Like, for example, I can't even tell you like 50 people vote on this, 150. Like, I don't even know the rules. But I can tell you, like, as a proxy for WAR, PCA is probably a small favorite right now, depending on what WAR you use to finish with WAR. But I anecdotally, and without really researching this with numbers, it seems like, and arguably correctly so, I don't know if the rationale is correct, but arguably correctly so, I think in a lot of these awards, if all things are equal, the guy with more gaudy offensive numbers than the guy who's accumulated it through fielding tends to have the upper hand. And that might just be because they're casuals, but it probably is fair just with how we understand there to be so much noise on a single year of defensive metrics. So lot of rambling, I'm sorry, but like I don't really know how this is voted on.
Yep.
If it was a proxy for WAR, PCA should probably be a small favorite, but I don't know that is what this award is.
Yeah.
I do think Ohtani will pitch again.
Well, I I think those nuggets are like what exactly we're looking for here on this show. It doesn't have to be like telling us exactly I like A or I like B. It's like you gave us a ton of information to work with here, for like just to make our own opinion on the award here. There's been movement since we've been talking. Otani minus 135 now, Pete Armstrong plus 110. So you can keep an eye on that. Any other clicks for awards? I know last time you were on, you clicked. It wasn't DeLauder. Sorry, it was Bryce Eldridge, Rookie of the Year.
He's dead.
He's dead. Okay.
Yeah, I mean probably.
Yeah,
he didn't need to go crazy. What I mean, you could look. I like betting when they're kind of known. What's NL Cy Young? I think Mizorowski's close to where he doesn't need to throw another pitch to win.
Minus 360 right now.
I kind of think that's a little cheap, honestly.
Okay. It's like a little free square potentially.
I think, yeah, like who's second? It's got to be Wheeler, Sanchez,
Sale 700, Sanchez 850, Wheeler 16-1.
I don't have the WAR in front of me, but I think Mizorowski can throw like 10 more innings and have, at least if this is a proxy for WAR, have WAR locked up if he starts like 2 more games. Which I'm fully aware of pitcher injuries, but
yes,
he's probably better than 360 to start 2 more games.
All right.
So
I love this little free square. Pair it up with Cam Schlittler, who Bortoluci's been on the show before talking about both those guys to win those awards. And I'm sure you're going to get a mention from Bortoluci in like a couple hours saying, I just ran 1 million simulations co-signed with Barry Horse. We're taking Mizorowski. Anyways, before you head out here, got you for a couple more minutes. Just final thoughts, opinions on today's game. If you want to just rattle through, I don't know if we want to bring up the board, if that's easier for you or.
That'd be easier. I think Tampa already started, right?
Tampa already started. Next game that starts is KC in Minnesota at 1:41. So we got a little bit of a buffer here in terms of time. So let's just scroll down and scroll through the board. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm happy to talk about every single game. If you're looking for one that I think is mispriced.
No, let's do it. Rapid fire every single game. Talk through it. This is what people want to hear.
I mean, over throws nothing. Kansas City's a disgusting lineup with all these guys hurt. Pasquantino just went on IL. Over is the weirdest pitcher in the world for me to price. I feel like his ERA should be 7. He throws like 89, but he's the pinnacle of extension, playing it up, and then his changeup just looks like it never gets to the plate. Cameron's pretty hard to bet. I mean, he's got a putrid fastball shape and somehow made it work last year. I don't really think he's real. Both these teams are difficult for me to bet. Weathers has run bad. If you want to be a Weathers apologist for the Yankees, you could. He had a couple where he had like severe illness in a couple starts and just weird shit. He's had like some pretty bad luck in a few of them too. I'm not like fully allergic to buying low on him in general. And the White Sox, I think, have definitely played their best baseball this year, but Burke's pretty legit, and I don't really see any. If I had to bet something on these day games, it probably would barely be the Yankees, but I don't really love it. Assad's impossible for me to bet over both these guys. Palante's an extreme reverse splits guy, very non-randomly. Perez McClain looks perfect, like both, but so does the market. Absolutely disgustingly putrid pitchers in the Cincinnati game, but slightly offsetting offenses too. I don't really see anything. Swervin Irvin for the Nats is back. He looked materially improved with this curveball this year, but I don't know what to do. The market's despised Grant Holmes. I'm no big fan, but I've leaned towards Grant Holmes in basically every game this year. Just I don't have some like grand opinion of him, but the market has just been pricing him as like a 5 ERA guy for a lot of the year. I don't really have anything there. This isn't breaking news, but I fully expect Nick Kurtz to be out tonight and maybe go on IL again. It seems like the market is aware of this, but I mean, you'd have to stretch things to make 174 good, like really stretch things. But this is kind of a game where it's just like, if I make numbers the way I always make numbers, it's not really possible to justify, but if you needed to win a game today, I mean, it's not no shit. They're the biggest favorite, but like it feels cheap. Like Sacramento's looked like utterly like easily the worst team in baseball for like 40 days now. Boston's been probably the best for the last month, and Sonny Gray is like the biggest guarantee for a quality start. Their bullpen's used to it all. Zero interest in the San Diego game. Sasaki, I think some of this might be excuse making. Like they changed his glove like to double the size
I
two
saw
starts
that.
ago, and
Yes.
he's looked
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I don't really think pitch tipping was the issue. I'm sure it happened in more than one of the starts this year, but I don't think that's been like the overwhelming issue.
Yeah.
The big thing I think is his fastball like just became elite out of like maybe the second best fastball in the sport among starting pitchers like 3 starts ago. It's up like 200 RPM and like 2 miles an hour. I have no idea how or why, but that just gives such a big cushion for him to deal with all his flaws he's been dealing with. So, that said, I don't really think that number is interesting, but he could be rapidly improving, so I'd monitor it.
All right, something to monitor here. So 3 starts ago, you said his fastball got better. Does it line up with using? Does it line up with using the full the big glove?
I think, but that I mean, that seems like extreme causation correlation to me. I don't know why that would make him throw harder.
Maybe like confidence that he's not tipping pitches, like,
maybe,
or like there's more service area for sticky stuff that he can hide. Like
maybe that feels like a stretch to me.
Yeah, of course. No, it's just the funniest thing I saw. It's like, oh, you're worried about tipping pitches? Just use like an extra large glove. Yeah, like it's hilarious. But that's why the Dodgers are like one of the best teams in the league. They like think outside the box and creatively, and it might not have any effect. It might also have an effect. Who knows? Anyways, any final thoughts before you head out here? Anything? Oh, that's what I want to update on the drag. I know it's been going down, the drag coefficient. Is that the right term for it? Yeah, it's been going down. How do we approach this in like the colder months?
Well, I don't know if we're gonna get colder months for a while, but I mean that would all be priced in basically. Like like the market's aware when it's cold. Not insulting you. I know you know that.
No, like, I don't know anything. I ask dumb questions. That's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah, the whole ball situation is bizarre. It matters so much. Like it's excuse me. It's not as clean as like in 2022 they did the opposite. They used the deadest ball in like years. You can kind of monkey brain mouth breathe through that one is like just bet all unders, like duh. Like every like home runs just reduced like 30%. Like it is truly as simple and obvious as you that. This is not close to as simple or obvious as just mouth breather, shut your brain off and bet overs like a monkey. There's a lot more nuance, and it matters so much which bullpen pitchers do or do not pitch in a game, which is notoriously very difficult to predict. So yeah, like I'm losing in baseball this year. Not buried. I mean, there's some chance I'd turn it around, but like even not just myself, like I write down all the moves. I see a lot of moves losing. There's lots of reasons to believe baseball games are a little more random this year because of that. So just I tread lightly with like making sure you know what you know and don't know, and definitely need to be aware of that.
All right, that's a great point. If you're modeling stuff, just be aware of what you know and you don't know. Mr. Horse, appreciate you joining the show. Anything? Oh, I got college football. I completely forgot to bring up college football here. I guess I don't have you on for much longer. So anything you want to talk about for college football, the floor is yours. Number one thing on your mind heading into the season could be overrated team, underrated team, Heisman awards. I know you don't bet futures, but group of 6 teams that you're looking at. You're like, wow, this team is being undervalued. What the hell's going on? Like front of mind college football season. Give it to me. Just
follow the money. Like last year would have worked really, really good. Like I think the big meta would be the SEC has just dominated my entire life basically, and I've been an SEC maximalist, and just based on how wealthy the alumni are in the Big Ten and ACC, I do see that shifting to like maybe even be fully overtaken. Like it's just until things change, or if they do ever, I think it's as simple as just like the biggest, tallest, fastest, strongest players are going to be better at football. So they cost more money. So you need more money. So the teams with more money are going to have them, and they're going to be better at football. Like, I think you can be a 7-year-old about that. Like I just pay attention to teams that are rich.
Yeah, that's a great thing heading into the season. And I appreciate you as someone who's a former SEC maxi is now conceding, because I mean, maybe it's because they control the media, but all I hear is about how great the SEC is, but they are clearly no longer the best conference anymore. So anyways, Barry Horse, appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you giving us that nugget. We'll chat soon.
Yeah, take care.
Great stuff there from Barry Horse. Make sure you go follow him on Twitter. You can also check out his second half totals as well, which is available through his Telegram. I believe the link is in his bio. He has a service where he gives out second half totals for college football games. You're going to want to check that out there. BarryHorse_29. Make sure you're following the right one. Go join his Telegram. Go check it out. Great guy. And yeah, great stuff there. From one great guy to another, we got so money coming on in just 1 second. But before we do that, quick reminder. I don't know if you heard. It's been happening for like a couple of months now. But we got a second live Circle Back show every week, and it's added to the rotation. 4 p.m. Eastern time today on the Circles Off YouTube channel. You can go check out the Circle Back crew live every single Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Who's on today? Well, I got you. It's Kanish, it's Isaac, and it's Porter at BA Analytics, for those who don't know. Great crew for today. Going to be talking about a bunch of different things, including the... I don't know if they're talking about it today. I think they are. A news station tweeting out a fake picture of Kyle Shanahan that was, I believe it was supposed to be somebody else there. Just a crazy situation there. What was that meme? Can we pull that up here? There it is. WGN posting a meme of Kyle Shanahan has Mitch McConnell, a little Photoshop there. That was hilarious. They're going to be covering that and more on the show. You're going to want to check that out. And yeah, check it out. New video today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Circles Off YouTube channel. Circle Back for all your gambling and sports story needs. Let's bring on our next guest, our final guest. Good friend of the show, a Vancouver Canucks fan, tortured Vancouver Canucks fan, still sad about missing out on Gavin McKenna. So money. How's it going? Is that on purpose or is this an accident here? Uh-oh. For those who don't know, if this is your first time watching the show, So Money is like minus 1,000 to be muted every time he comes on here. It's just good stuff from So Money. Great meme. Great meme. But this might be a serious... Are we too... Listen, he's got great hair. He doesn't have great...
Is that better?
Great technical abilities. Yes, much better. Much better. So, if your hair was as great as your technical abilities, you'd be like, you'd be a star.
Yeah, you're telling me, man.
All right, let's dive into today's show. I'm going to keep bugging you about the market, the market-wide team totals, for all these games. Again, we're in the 60s right now. 3 games, 1 game 61.5 Alouettes and Red Blacks. Another Stampeders, Tiger Cats 60.5. Rough Riders, Elks 59.5, but then the BC Lions and the Blue Bombers down to 53.5. Talk me through the league-wide update for totals.
Yeah, I think that we're getting to a point where if a team is not starting a backup quarterback, or if a team is starting a quarterback that has a few games under his belt, we should be in the high 50s, low 60s now as a baseline.
All right, and that's what we're getting at here. So yeah, let's start with these games. Start with the BC Lions versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Winnipeg right now minus 7.5, minus 110. Total, like we mentioned here, is 53.5, juice towards the under. BC starting their rookie quarterback. He's making his first CFL start. That's probably why we're seeing this number down here. Does that mean there's like a little bit of uncertainty in this total if we don't really have, I don't know, if we don't really know much about this rookie quarterback? Or are you just using his, I don't even know where he played before college. He played in Canada. I don't know. Are you just using his numbers and adding that on, extrapolating that to the CFL? Talk me through how you're like modeling this game with a little bit of uncertainty at quarterback.
Yeah, so there is uncertainty there. It also goes back to last week. The Lions started a rookie, not a rookie, but a quarterback last week as well that didn't have any. It was his first CFL start, and he struggled. We talked about it a bit. He came into the game before last game, and he played almost a full game. But the concern with him in that game was that he's been around for 3-4 years, and he still struggled coming into that game, and that carried forward to last week as well against Toronto. So I think that that's the reason why we're seeing a lower total on here, because the Lions are starting another rookie quarterback. Now, I will argue though that the total and the Lions spread has been depressed to the point where there's value on both sides, because the total is being lined as if it was Chase Bryce, last week's quarterback, who's starting. So now you add a whole bunch of uncertainty, and I would argue that how much worse can Caden Salter be than what Chase Bryce was last week? So I think that we're at a point where there's value on the BC Lions, there's value on the over. And with Salter, he actually played in Colorado.
I was going to say
previously. So he played in Colorado. He had the Lions signed him in the preseason. He played a preseason game as well. I think it was a half. It's tough to take anything from the preseason, but he looked okay. Right. So I think that I don't think he can be much worse than what Chase Bryce gave them. So I did play BC. It's at 7.5 right now. I like it there. And on Winnipeg side, they're not the same Winnipeg team that we grew up with, or not grew up with, but like that from like the last few years. So they do, and they're not as dominant at home either. So I think that we have an inflated spread here based on what we saw out of the Lions quarterback situation last week, and I just don't think it can get any worse than that. So I do like the BC Lions at plus 7.5.
All right, I like that. BC Lions plus 7.5. Maybe take a look at the home alternate total as well. I believe the away alternate total, if you're looking on FanDuel, right now priced around 22.5, 21.5 for the BC Lions. Their team total, maybe look towards their over if you like the plus 7.5 as well. Tons of ways to play that on FanDuel. I think, like you said here, when there's uncertainty, you can go for the 7.5. You're a little bit more aggressive. Maybe look towards alts, which I tend to do. Next game we got is the Alouettes versus the Red Blacks. Alouettes continue to be like the best team in college in the CFL. They got a win streak here. They looked hot last week. Talk me through Montreal here versus Ottawa, who's sitting at 0-6. Oof.
So Ottawa looks bad, right? And like we've like talked about this a couple of times now, where they just don't have a lot of talent in that roster. But you're also looking at a situation where how much more are you going to make the Alouettes here on the road? At some point, it's just it's just too much. And I think that as bad as Ottawa has been this year, Montreal the last couple of weeks haven't been that dominant. And I think that last week's final was very deceiving. I think that that was not a 2-score win by the Owls at all. And I think we're going to see an Ottawa team that we might see something from them. I like some of the things I saw out of them against Winnipeg. I just don't think they're as bad as their winless record indicates. They don't have a lot of talent on their roster, but they just haven't played up to, even with like a weaker roster, they just haven't played up to what I think that they can be. So at 7, I think that it's just too much on the Owls here.
7.5 right now on FanDuel, but juice towards the Red Blacks minus 122. Are you laying that 7.5 at minus 122? Or are you looking around for maybe a better price?
I'm playing Ottawa plus 7.
Yeah. Sorry. Ottawa plus. Are you okay with the plus 7.5 though at minus 122? Because it's all no 7 at FanDuel.
No, I think the 7 is fine.
Okay, 7 is fine there. You can find that at like 115 ish out there, 118. Yeah. All right. Moving off this game, let's go to the Stampeders and the Tiger Cats. Stampeders minus 4.5 right now. Totals at 16.5. Stampeders, one of the most highest powered offense, I guess you can call it, in the CFL so far. They're leading the CFL in points per game. great at running the football, but their defense is where they can be a little bit leaky here. Talk me through this one here. Anything you like in terms of this matchup?
So we know about my thoughts on Calgary. Talked about it a few times. I think that this is a team that is an elite team. Sorry, just got something here. So that is an elite team in the league, and I think that earlier in the season it just wasn't they weren't priced as such. I think that they are being priced like that right now. And my question, similar to the Montreal Ottawa game, is that on the road here, how much more do you want to make Calgary? I think that at the 4.5, the 5, I think we've already crossed a point where it's just too far now. So I did play Hamilton. I do like the Tiger Cats. We can get them +5, plus 4.5 is fine. And it's one of those things where Hamilton has shown better defensively than I thought. Offensively, I think that obviously the last couple of weeks they've had injury issues and they're still trying to find their way here. But I think that this is a game here where the number has just gone too far on Calgary. So I think 4.5, 5 is fine for Hamilton.
All right, 4.5 is what we're looking at here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Looking at a lot of underdogs today. I love it. I wonder if we're going to keep that trend with the next game here, Rough Riders and Elks. Last week you were on you liked I believe it was the Elks. I think it was the 3.5 or 2.5. I think it was the range. We've seen a big swing in terms of their prices now. Elks -1.5, -104 right now on FanDuel. Of course, they're at home instead. Do you agree with this price move week to week? And anything you like in this game?
I agree with it from the market perspective. I think that after Edmonton went into Saskatchewan last week, you do need a big adjustment, and I think that was made. However, from a betting perspective, I think that we went too far. So this is another game where I think that Edmonton has shown that that they are the real deal, and I've been betting them, so I know they're the real deal. But I think that this is a game where Saskatchewan is going to take it seriously. They're going to show their championship pedigree, and I think that we're going to get a full, solid 60 minutes from Saskatchewan. That's not to say that they're guaranteed to win this game, because if Edmonton is the real deal and if they win this game, then I think that we need to rank Edmonton right up there as one of the two best teams in the league after Montreal. So if Edmonton can win this game, all credit to them. But I don't think at this point of the season that they're ready yet to win a game against a championship Saskatchewan team that's going to be coming at them full throttle.
So you like Saskatchewan? My goodness,
yeah,
Saskatchewan at -104 in this game here. You're not taking the +1.5. You're looking at just at the money line.
No, just take the money line there.
All right, there we go. -104 on Saskatchewan. Quick recap. Saskatchewan -104. Ticats +4.5 -110. Red Blacks moved on FanDuel right now. 6.5 -104 is what it's showing on screen. We're looking for a 7. 6.5 104. Is that okay, or you rather the 7?
I'd rather do 7.
Okay, rather the 7. And then BC Lions +7.5 -110, all available at FanDuel. You can combine those together at FanDuel and get that 13-1. If you did that last week, you're in the good books. After so monies, I don't even know if you realize you went 4-0 last week on the show.
Yeah, I know.
The humbleness is oozing through. It's oozing through. So money, we appreciate you. We got one more thing before you head out here. We got some women's tennis action happening in my backyard in a couple days. I think it's like 3 days. I think it starts August 2nd. We've got the National Bank Open presented by Rogers. Used to be the Rogers Open. I don't know why they changed the name of it. I don't know why it's so wordy. Anyways, just give me some shout-outs on, no odds right now, but shout-outs on some names you're going to be looking at, potentially targeting in futures markets, if you can share that.
I can't right now, not because I don't want to, but because I don't know.
Okay.
Right. So I need some time there. I do have a tennis play that I am able to give out because the line's still there.
Love it.
which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it's fine. So up to minus 125, Deanna Schneider against Anastasia Potapova, Washington. It's slated to start at 6 Eastern, but it'll probably be pushed back a bit. So, Deanna Schneider up to minus 125.
All right, Deanna Schneider up to minus 125. 128 on FanDuel, but of course, shop around. Find that best price in market, as we always recommend you do. So money? Oh, okay. Charles Saul in the chat. Before you go, pry future out of So Money, Jason, besides Panthers to win the Stanley Cup. Charles, got to do it. He is such a loyal follower and fan of this show.
No,
you almost have to. Is it what
Charles,
is it?
I have to.
Leafs to win the Cup, Leafs to win the Atlantic.
All right, I got the
game 1, Leafs versus Habs, Leafs minus 114. Like, what are we talking about?
Wow.
McKenna, Calder, 270.
Here, let's look at the awards one.
Wait. Sergei Bobrovsky, 55 to 1. Hello. To win the Vezina?
We're not going to do that.
Okay. Well, I'll keep rattling stuff off and get you inspired. Darren Radish, 80 to 1 to win the Norris? Wow.
Do you know that's Shesterkin 9 to 1 for the Vezina? I think that Rangers aren't going to score much, and I think that they're going to be a more defensively focused team with more time under Sullivan. I think that, and he was fine even when he was left out to dry so much last year. So Shesterkin 9 to 1, that's standing out to me right now.
So money, I don't know about like that. The problem with that is the Rangers are ass.
They are. Yeah.
So okay, yeah. I guess if they do well this year, it is on the back of Igor.
We've shown that we don't have to make the playoffs to win the Vezina.
That's true. That's fair. All right. You make a good point. You make a good point. I still think that Bobrovsky 55 to 1 is a little interesting. No, 55 to 1.
No.
Why?
I don't like it. I don't know if he's going to have a great year.
Let's listen to the guys that are listed around him, okay?
All right.
Brandon Bussey 40 to 1, Darcy Kemper 45 to 1, Mackenzie Blackwood 45 to 1, Spencer Knight 50 to 1, Dan Vladar 55 to 1, Frederick Anderson 60 to 1, Jake Allen 60 to 1, Carter Hart 65 to 1, Joel Hofer 70 to 1. Like, he should not be in that price range. I'm sorry.
If you are making that, okay, so if you're looking at the price and the players around him, then I think Freddie Anderson at 60 to 1 makes more sense.
Maybe, but he can't play a full season. When has he ever shown the ability to do that?
I know, but
there's no minimum game
now, so like, how is he going to play?
Bobrovsky's not 50. He's not 50, and we've also shown that goalies can play. Like Mike Smith played till he was like 78. Like this is like, you're a goalie. You're still kicking in men's league. Like you know that age is it's a factor, but he hasn't hit the cliff just yet, and there's a potential that if he hasn't hit the cliff, 55 to 1 is good.
All right, man. Listen, I think it's fine, but it's just like not like if I'm going to take a long shot like that at like a 55 to 1, like I'd rather bet Freddie Anderson at 60 to 1.
But you know, Frederick Anderson's not going to hit that game. Like there's no real games played threshold for the Vezina, but there kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, like Linus Ullmark wanted playing like 10 games that year. So.
He played like 36, dude. Come on, or 40 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you might as well play 10. What are we doing here with the games played threshold? Like, how do you win a Vezina not playing at least 50 games in a season?
Well, Bob is live to play 50. I don't know. Bobrovsky's got it. He's on the case. Russian machine never breaks. Charles Saul said he's splitting the stake. 0.1 units on Bob. 0.99 on Igor. You're gonna wish you flipped that come 6 months from now. But anyways, So Money, appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you sharing that future for us. And yeah, we'll chat next week after another 4-0 week. So Money, appreciate you. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, Jason. See you later.
Great stuff there from So Money. As always, great stuff from you guys as well. I'm going to ask you guys a huge favor, though, if you can, for just a second. If you're not watching live right now and you're watching after the fact and you're watching on YouTube, comment down below. Just say, I'm watching on YouTube after. If you're not watching on YouTube after the fact, that means you're listening on Apple and Spotify. So if you're there, do us a favor, rate and review 5 stars. That number, that rating, that little press of the button, if you do enjoy the content, goes such a long way for us. It helps us grow on those platforms, which is one of our goals for this year, is growing on Spotify, growing on Apple Podcasts. So if you can do that for us, we really appreciate it. And if you want to drop a review or a comment on Spotify, we'll be reading those out at some point on this show. And that's it. Appreciate you guys doing that. Shout out to our good friends who joined us today. So Money. Shout out to our good friend Barry Horse, who also joined the show. Shout out to Mike, keeping everything smooth behind the board. Shout out to all the damn chatters in here, day in, day out. TQ, Track Attack, Derek, Chris, Gritty Man, B. Clark, Eric Elmer, Speedy, E. Colt, Johnny28, Moretto, Colin Hughes, and so much more. Appreciate you guys. Some new chatters as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we've got great content coming to you guys throughout the entire week, Monday to Friday, noon Eastern time, here on the Hammer Daily. All right. Let's end off this Friday, Junior, on a high note. This has been the Thursday, July 30th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Bang Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here tomorrow.